Now, like I've already said, this video might have rattled you a little bit, and I hope it hasn't in a nasty way, because I've not tried to make you question how well you're doing. You might be, you might have 5-6 staff, you work every single day just now, you're doing £2-3 million a year, and you're just in a big growth phase and you're pushing. Like, that's amazing. I love that. That's so cool. Take that situation and take away the staff and make it just yourself, and you're only doing 50-60k a year. I still love that. You're still doing, like, you're excelling in terms of what your peers are probably doing. You're putting in a way above average level of effort and stuff like that, and maybe you're just not getting the financial returns on your effort that you think you deserve at this point. And I am sure with the right work, folks, in the right areas, you're going to get there. So this video is not to, like, tell anyone, or this podcast, sorry, it's not to tell anyone that you're doing stuff wrong. You're wrong. You're incorrect. You're crap. That's not the point. I just want you to think about, well, where is it you're actually going? Do you want to continue being self-employed for the rest of your life? Because most of the time people leave the job saying, I'm sick of having a job. I'm sick of answering to a boss. I'm sick of having to report to someone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to become self-employed. I'm going to be my own boss. Right? And then they end up doing the same stuff as they did as an employee with a similar peer group, still having to report to a project manager, a site manager, a contracts manager, whatever it may be, having to pay all their own tax and national insurance and organise all their own accounts, and have to go through the nuisance of trying to get finance and credit as a self-employed person. It does become more difficult, and stress of being able to pay certain outgoings like your tax and lump, instead of paying tax in a little monthly amount like you do as an employee, a normal employee, you're paying it often in lumps, right? And you're not managing your spending properly. You could be that self-employed person and be way more stressed than you would as an employee, and have the same amount of money for the next 40-50 years. That's pretty terrifying. And you're probably there with aspirations of being a business owner, but not really understanding or thinking about what that means, or what it means to get there, what you need to do to get there. So what needs to change for you in the next 12 months to get to a point where you can be exponentially closer to business ownership? And there's so many different things that break that down, right? Like, who do you need to see less of? Who do you need to cut out altogether in your life? Who do you need to see more of and spend more time around? What do you need to buy less of? What do you need to buy more of? Is there specific skills that you feel like you need to learn? Is there specific types of people that you feel like you need to add into your organisation and business? Do you need to start spending a little bit less for the next 5 or 6 months to have a little bit extra liquidity there to go and get a member of staff, a PA to just organise your diary, help with your emails, do your bills and invoices to make sure you're not missing out on people anymore and accidentally ignoring people for weeks and weeks at a time? Because these are all the realities of self-employment. You'll be missing out on so much business and so many customers just by not being able to answer the phone. We get this so often at Growth Getters at some of our events, people saying like, oh, so hard because you're working here and then someone phones you and you're trying to win them as a customer, but it's also distracting you from the customer whose vehicle or whatever you might be working on at that point. Like, it makes it so much harder. So sit down just now and actually map that out and ask yourself, okay, what does this look like? What does it look like me becoming a business owner from where I am today? What do I need to change? Yeah, I'm spending way too much time in this part of my business. I'm 100% reliant on myself for this part of my business. Okay, over the next year, I know I need to hire this type of person, that type of person, and just spend less on X, Y, and Z to make sure that I can add a bit more money into my business and actually be able to use it to invest in my business. Because so many of us get 40, 50, 100k inside their business and go, right, what can I invest in? Crypto, property, what can I do with that money? When it should actually be investing in the business first. Before you think about ripping out and going buying a property deal or whatever, you'll be thinking about, okay, do I need more staff? Do I need to spend more money on ads? What is it I need to do just now with this money before I think about sending it off on other missions? What does my organisation need it for, right? So build that little list. It'll give you something to aim towards, something to, think, okay, this is what I need to do. And then when you're ticking those boxes, you're on your real path to business ownership. In my world and how I think, just owning a business, aka having the shares and a bit of paper from companies' house that say you own a business, it means nothing. It means very little. How you run the organisation, how profitable it is, how much money you can bring in, how many people you can impact and benefit with your service, how many people you can employ and, put into well-paying jobs and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that really matters. And that's what separates someone who thinks they're a business owner from someone who is a business owner.